Meet two of the biggest names in folk rock as they take the stage together. Don't miss out when the Avett Brothers and Trampled by Turtles co-headline the XL Energy Center on October 24th. Tickets are on sale now. For more info and to get yours today, head over to KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
I think the president was serious.
I think he was too.
I mean, I'm not, on the crafted, scripted, written, prepared set list or talker sheet for DSP. I didn't. I just looked at you, and you looked like you had a look on your countenance, which was that of a Cheshire grin. And I'm like, what did he just do? So then I'm like, Dave, because I've known Dave long enough to do this. Sorry about the fill-in, man. I mean, I know he just popped you for 2 Champions Club tickets with the free food and the free candy and the free beverages and the candy you can bring out to the seats. Oh, just for 10 games. And David's like, well, we got to make sure we get a game that you and Maxwell can come to together to see the Twin Enigmatics. Like, damn, it worked. I didn't even try for it to work, and it worked.
Right. It was like an accidental alley-oop.
I know it. Right. Yeah, I was trying to throw it off the backboard to myself. Instead, it ooped up to St. Peter. He comes down with it, and Maxwell wins. All right, Max's Musings, Max's Meanderings, Sports Essentials, Sports Update, News du Nord, Amsterdam, Flirty 1130. What you got?
Last night, the Timberwolves played the role of the metaphorical meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs after handing the Toronto Raptors the biggest L in their franchise's history, beating them 133-85. 6 different Wolves scored in double digits, including Anthony Edwards, who put up a game-high 28 to go along with 6 assists. With the win, the Wolves have reassumed their place atop the Western Conference with just 6 games to go in the regular season. Next up for the Howl is a head-to-head with the Suns in Phoenix on Friday night, which, funny enough, you can hear right here on these very airwaves, 100.3 KFAN.
It was child's play. If I'm a Raptors fan, it's like I was wondering last night in the Toronto or Greater Toronto area, how many people possibly A, could be watching Toronto Raptors basketball, but B, how many people are watching this Garrett Temple-related disaster where they're about ready to lose by 70? And it reminded me or caused me to hearken to, man, this is 20-some-odd years ago, Judd Zulgad. You familiar with Judd Zulgad?
Yep.
All right, Judd was the broadcast media writer for the Star Tribune. So about radio and TV and shows and ratings and all that. And, I think it would come out on Fridays, and it was kind of a must read. And Judd did a really good job with it. Well, there was the Timberwolves were at a point where they were so bad. Judd had a broadcast sports column or whatever it was, where he basically he got hold of the Nielsen meters somehow. And for a Timberwolves game on a weekday night, now they're bad. He's like, there were 12 or 1,300 televisions metered watching the Timberwolves in the entire state.
I always love that one.
Like, bro,
My God.
I mean, some people have 1,300 TVs in like their cul-de-sac with man caves. And then I was like, man, I mean, how many members of the Hoiberg family did Fred have to convince
I always love that one.
to turn on the game to get that thing above 1,000? So it was just crazy. And I wonder if it's like that with the Raptors. And like they're the Toronto Sun or whatever it's called, and the broadcast news portion, 6.5 million watched what was deemed a meaningless Maple Leafs game, while 45 televisions in the entire province of whatever
I always
were
love
on
that
the
one.
Raptors last night because nobody cares about Garrett Temple, with the exception of Lionel Richie, who thinks Garrett's trying to look like him.
I always love that.
And I'm like, you look at Garrett Temple, and then you know what Lionel Richie looks like, and I'm kind of like, after the basketball game, is my man heading over to First Avenue to like cover Easy and Brick House and Machine Gun and Just to Be Close to,
Or heading over to Maury for a paternity test.
I always love
the
that.
hell's that mean? You keep the Okay, so but now, alas, The Hal hooks the Suns, as young Emwell shared earlier. That's tomorrow night. That's a cool one. If you ain't doing much and you're a sports snob or you're like King of the Rubes, Jimmy K, with his single-season ticket for 18 years, you just love the Wolves and you watch or listen to it all, this is going to be a cool one because Phoenix may be getting itself right a little bit. And I purposely paid some attention to them last night just to get ahead on these opinions because they feel they have an MB3, all right, with Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. And I'm not one to say they don't because all three are high-end. One is a cinch Hall of Famer. Two most likely are Hall of Famers. And sadly for Bradley Beal, a former Florida Gator, he got relegated in that Washington market.
I always love that one.
Out of the gate trying to share the ball with John Wall, and nobody knew who he was and nobody cared. But they will because Bradley can play. Now, the Suns, they put up 122 on Cleveland last night. And it's like, all right, big deal, right? No, it is a big deal. Because when Cleveland has its dogs, and I mean defensive stalwarts like Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. And Max Strus, the former Heat cat, all he did was shoot threes when he played with the Bulldog. Who knew that he was a scrappy-ass perimeter defender? He is, and they got some defensive guys on the bench, too. So they don't like to give up a lot of points. It was kind of effortless for Phoenix last evening, and they generally have rotated stardom, the stud who's the stardom. Like one night it's Booker, boom, and KD's middle of the road. Then KD's the bomb with the triple-double, and Devin Booker's middle of the road. Well, they both were on the beam and going great guns last night. They looked really, really good last night, Nurkic by their side. So, Suns tomorrow on KFAN. That's super cool. I can't figure out why they're playing Bowl 22 minutes, but I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of that in the postseason. And the Suns, just when you jump on board with this star power and you're like, that's it. It's if you think this ain't it, well, that may be it because it's starting to gel. Then they lose by 25 at Oklahoma City like they did last Friday. Oh, right before that, they won at Denver. Ooh, hey, look at that blowout against San Antonio. Oh, by the way, last Friday, I think, or middle of last week, did you happen to see they lost to the Spurs when Wemby didn't play?
I always love that one.
So this team's weird. This team's weird, but it's gifted. And I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow night.
They are of the mercurial nature. They've won 7 of their last 10, though. Speaking of the number 7, the Twins scored 5 runs in the 7th inning to rally from behind and beat the Brewers in Milwaukee yesterday afternoon. Ryan Jeffers capped off the 7th with a tie-breaking 3-run dinger to put the Twins up for good. Alex Kirilloff did everything but play the organ yesterday, going 4 for 4 with 2 singles, a double, and a triple. As we discussed with Twins press Dave St. Peter, today is the home opener as the Twins take on the Guardians. Pablo Lopez, who else but Pablo Lopez, would be on the mound for Minnesota with first pitch set for around 3:10.
Kirilloff with the 4 for 4 and the walk, as Maxwell just shared, did everything but play the organ. Oh, he played the organ, and those in Milwaukee heard it because the tune he was playing for them was Taps.
In your face, Milwaukee.
The Wild will be back in action tonight when they host the Avalanche down at the X. The Wild currently sit 8 points behind the L.A. Kings for the final wild card spot in the West, as well as 3 points behind the Blues, who are also looking to find their way into the postseason.
Are you kidding me? You want to hear a fat radio-related L that I took? I/we, because it's we with the audience, and that inherently makes us one. I wanted to have Zach Parisi on the radio show today. I know Zach, and I forgot to text Zach yesterday to see if we could start the show with Zach O, because I bet you he would have said yes. He's in town. Forgot a covenant catch up with the old Z Parisi. So now, hey, if you can't join him on the radio, then beat him on the ice.
And there is your dagger!
Couple of small nuggets for you, PA. I know you're a big ball guy, especially coming up in California like you did. The A's will be playing in West Sacramento for the 2025 through 2027 seasons.
What happened to Vegas?
That's just they ran out of their contract with Oakland, so they'll be playing in Sacramento until they move to Vegas in 2028. So next season, the season after that, and the season after that, they'll be in Sacramento.
West Sacramento?
Yeah.
I mean, was Fridley not available? I mean, what's in West Sacramento where they're playing? Any idea?
I have no idea. I think it's been really contentious, obviously, with the city and with the team, and so they just couldn't work it out, and now the A's are moving to West Sacramento.
Yeah, it's clear that Moneyball thing's working out really well.
Why don't you put your pants back on, Slappy?
Anything else?
Yeah. Knicks forward Julius Randle will have season-ending shoulder surgery. He dislocated his shoulder back in January. He's been working really hard to try to get back on the court, but season-ending shoulder surgery. And while we're on the court, LSU's Angel Reese declared for the WNBA draft yesterday. Why is that interesting? Aside from Angel Reese's star power, she's projected to go 7th in the WNBA draft. Guess who's picking 7th? Your Minnesota Lynx. We could have Angel Reese in town.
Wow. That would be terrific. If I'm the Toronto Raptors,
I might punch him in the face.
I'll take a long look at finding a way to get that pick.
I might punch him in the face.
I mean, after what we saw last night, I ain't kidding you. If only for the marketing standpoint. All right, great job. That's Maxx and Max's Meanderings or the Musings. It's 11:20. Maxx Fuller, the producer, says the Talkback machine is bursting. It's bountiful. It's so full of megahertz and frequency that like a computer has broken. So we've replaced the hard drive and we've replaced the computer so the Talkback machine can work, and it involves the NFL draft, and it also involves somebody winning tickets to the Miller Lite draft party, which will take place 3 weeks from today. It is of the life-changing variety. Be there, be square, right? Vikings.com, by the way, for tickets. Vikings.com for tickets. We will listen to and react to some of these talkbacks involving the draft around the corner. It's your opportunity to join 9 to noon and be heard by the world. Ooh.
Well, I'll probably go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't like you.
We want to hear from you. Send us your draft-related talkbacks all day long. If you are selected as our draft talkback of the day, you'll win a pair of passes to the Miller Lite Vikings draft party. For a full list of details, head over to KFAN.com. Keyword contest. Draft coverage on the Fan is presented locally by Pep's Draft House Pizza.
With them talkbacks. What's up?
What's good?
Give it to me.
All right, here's the first one coming at you. This is Q from Minneapolis.
Hey, this is Q from Minneapolis, and if the Vikings don't trade up, it would be a disaster. But with the first pick, I'd like Brian Murphy. We need a dude on the interior. We haven't had one since like Linval Joseph 4 or 5 years ago. And at 23, I like Grant Barton out of Duke. I think he's very versatile. He could play center or guard. And, you know, with the open position at left guard and Bradbury being whatever, I think he could fit in really nice and play right away.
Puppy, welcome back to the show.
That's the leader for the draft party tickets. That is the stone cold, absolute, prohibitive favorite to win the draft party tickets, if only because it's the only talkback we've taken.
I always love that one.
But it's favored because of now my man Q, he's playing with my heart. He would have Maxwell all up in his feelings. My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. And here's why: the offensive lineman that he's mentioning from Duke. I shared earlier in the week that I think it was last week when what I did, we were like 29 days in front of the draft. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be enterprising. I'm going to be prescient. I'm not going to waste the middle of my weekday. I'm going to amplify the radio show and hopefully help the radio station make money.
I always love that one.
So I'm like, I'm going to write 29 takes or talkers, 29 days or 30 days in front of the draft. And after about 20, it's like I got through 11 of them. And then I'm like, an hour later, I was done. I'm like, I ain't doing that again until we get down to 9. Or when we get down to like 8, hey, here we go. Just playing with you. But one of them was sharing some steam about that offensive lineman Barton from Duke. And he is, so here's the deal. I mean, I don't have to explain this. I think those of the learned variety kind of recognized that or realized it over the course of my radio run is I will be told something, and I get told a lot. But it doesn't mean I share everything, because sometimes I get told things next to the avocados at a supermarket, and I just don't believe them.
I always love that one.
Then I get certain people who tell me this is the best overall offensive lineman in the draft. Excuse me, most versatile offensive lineman in the draft. I believe his first name's Connor or Graham, but his last name is Barton for sure. Well, here's the deal: is my guy. This offensive lineman is stone cold in a perfect spot with, from what I believe, where he is going to fall. He's in just an amazing spot to go to a certain team.
And the silence you hear
that not only has a need for him
is Lambeau Field,
but a need for his position. So I wouldn't be surprised if the old team to the east takes this Duke offensive lineman, and if that's the case, that could be a problem for us. Thank you, Q. Very, very cool call. What's next?
Here's Frank from the 763.
What up, PA? Frankie from Minneapolis here. With all the talk about getting quarterback in the first round, what do you think about getting a D-tackle or linebacker in the later rounds? You know, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is a great linebacker from Clemson. You know, we got the D-tackle from Texas, Sweat, who's a, run stuffer. What do you guys think? Skull.
Of course he's a homer. You know they totally has a homer?
I mean, yeah, because he said a later part of the draft. I mean, the first crush, the first rookie with whom I became smitten after the fat L against the Lions, the 4 quarterback bit, the decompression, and now we sail into the 2024 trying, to as fans or announcers or producers trying to pick presidents for sweet seats at baseball games. We head into the 2024 trying to fix things, if only mentally. And the first guy I fell in love with was a cat from Illinois named Jerzon Newton. And I only had watched him play one time, but I didn't forget it. It was against the Gophers, because I got PJ on the next day, and I got to let's watch this game a little bit for some non-obvious for the old head coach, Scott Umah. So then I'm watching Illinois, and they keep talking about this guy who's suspended for the first half and his significance, and like at that stage of the equation, it's just to be quite candid with you. I mean, I couldn't pick out Jerzon Newton in a 2-person lineup standing next to Larry Bird.
I always love that one.
But they kept talking about him. And I'm like, what? Well, then he came in the second half. And okay, I'm the idiot. I'm the fool. This guy's the bomb. This guy's unblockable. This guy's fast. This guy's unbelievable. And he continued it. And then you hear some things at the combine, even though I don't believe he was at the combine. So as a defensive tackle goes, yeah, I mean, the Byron Murphy bit, okay, cool. Everybody talks about him. All the right people talk about him. I'm sure he's unbelievably good. How could he not be? Everybody talks about him.
I always love that one.
The Newton cat, I mean, I saw it, and geez. And then you look at some clips, like he had a game, Maryland. He had like he blocked field goals. But see, here's the problem is, If you reach up there and give at least 2 picks to get up there to a spot where you can get a quarterback, then the Duke offensive lineman with the multifaceted skills, the Longhorn 3 technique or defensive tackle who has the same name as a purple and gold corner, or Jerzon Newton, you just ain't in a position to get them. They're going to go in spots that you already worked really hard to get this spot. Are you going to do it twice? Can you do it twice? I don't think you can. So yes, is defensive tackles and linebackers and offensive linemen and and stuff like that later in the draft. A topic, whether we're bored hearing it, whether we're bored talking about it, whether we're bored thinking about it, whether we're bored analyzing it. The A topic is the Minnesota Vikings and a quarterback. That is the A topic from the first time I cracked this microphone after the season, and I'm like, I just know how they talk at facilities. And I'm telling you right now that even though I haven't heard it, in Egan, they're saying, this the last time we're going to be picking around 11.
I always.
No, so, better make hay now while the sun's shining, because it's the last time we're going to be picking this high in the draft.
I hope.
And that may or may not be true. That's just how they talk. Well, if that's the case, and the draft is as deep as it is purported to be with quarterbacks, and then we trade with D'Amico, we get another first-round pick. I mean, the proverbial writing is on the metaphorical wall. The question is, to me, just which one and why. And remember, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, when we had Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah on from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. He's the Minnesota Vikings general manager. And I asked him, is there a preferred scenario? And he said, yes, there is a preferred scenario. Now, the preferred scenarios don't always take place. But what if they do? And what if the pieces are in place? Oh, my gosh. If it just falls perfectly. I mean, this feels like Josh McCown, the quarterback's coach. Here it is. The season's on the line. That guy. And Drake May started talking about this dream before some Sadie Hawkins dance at a Charlotte high school where Josh was not the moderator, the person who watches, the parent who watches.
Guardian?
A guardian? No,
Yeah.
it's a little strong.
Oh, what is the...
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean.
Well, yeah, because you never went to dances. Not supervisor, not moderator. Chaperone!
There we go.
Hey, you're not a chaperone. You're Luke McCown. I know. Good to meet you, Drake. I don't want to start talking about 2024. And Drake's like, go on. And here we are. That talk back was cool. Q still leads in my estimation. Go on and give us one more right now.
Here goes Johnny.
Hi, PA. Hi, Max. If the Vikings need to trade the number 1 pick next year and add it to the 11 and the 23 to move up to get a quarterback, I'd be against that and be happy if they passed on that opportunity. The draft is not just about this year. Yeah. And if we made that trade next year this time, if the quarterback was successful, we'd be looking at our first pick next year being in the mid, possibly late 3rd round, which is a problem.
Right.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, Johnny, here's Johnny Abbott. You see, 9 to noon has not been the most talk back All right, 3-2. 9 to noon has not utilized the talk back feature, let's just say as well as maybe some others in the history of the Core 4 at AM 1130 KFAN or FM 100.3 KFAN. So I'm talking to, 27-year, 28-year, 30-year conduit and friend and program director Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum about the talkbacks and look at this as a pie and a bigger piece of the pie and topics that go more than 2 segments and talkbacks and texts and oh my. And I'm like, cool, I get it. And I'm going to acquiesce or I'm going to agree. I'm going to oblige. I like it. I'm a company guy. I always have been. It's they pay me and I want to make them money. So generally speaking, that's how business goes. But that talk back right there is the reason that I forever will prefer phone calls over talkbacks or texts. And here's why. It's because when my man says I'm against 11, 23 and next year's first rounder for a quarterback, it's giving up too much. You're okay. You might be right. But see, I don't get to follow up. And I feel bad for my man because I'm kind of like, all right, cool. I mean, you laid it out beautifully. We're going to give you these tickets. What's your solution at quarterback? See what I'm saying?
Right.
See, so I mean, it's like, I'm being strong-armed. I'm being told what to do, and that's fine. But I just wish I would have been able to ask, he's Johnny. All right, well, that all makes sense, but what about 2024 in the quarterback? I just want to hear what you got to say. That's cool. Q still leads. More of these talkbacks for the draft party tickets around the corner. Abbott on KFAN.
Electric rock duo 21 Pilots are headed back to Minnesota. Catch them on October 12th as they bring the Clancy World Tour to Target Center. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. For more info, head over to KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
All right, Q has the lead, and they are in the final furlong. It is Q and Frank and Johnny and Superstats Davey driving to the line together. Q has the lead by a head for the Miller Lite Draft Party tickets. But alas, we have some more talkbacks to compete. Let's continue.
Hey, PA, it's Statsy from Bloomington. I took the L yesterday on Grady Dick, but we're back today with some draft takes.
All right, start the whole thing again. I stepped on some touchdown call. It's Dave Handlin, Superstats Dave, a longtime friend of mine, statistician for Alan Horton on the vast and ever-expanding Timberwolves radio network. He's Alan's version of Poopy Dave. Statsy and I have known each other for a long time, and I think I stepped on his touchdown call. So, all right, Statsy, Bloomington, 3-2.
Hey, PA, it's Statsy from Bloomington. I took the L yesterday on Grady Dick, but we're back today with some draft takes. Draft takes do the same trade offer that we have up into the top 4, but instead of doing it for a quarterback, grab Marvin Harrison Jr., make 3 deep wide receivers, J.J., Harrison, and Jordan. Let's roll. And then grab quarterbacks like Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Michael Pratt. Grab them all and use the rest of the draft. Go for that. One of them will pop. Let's go. Skol.
L.
No, wait a second. It's not an L, and he's not an L. So trade up, get Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, I mean, you'd be catching everybody off guard with that. Okay. All right. And then was it use the rest of your picks on quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Like Rattler and something called Travis?
Jordan Travis. I believe he was the Florida State quarterback that got hurt towards the end of the year.
Last good Florida State quarterback in the NFL?
I always love that one.
Just playing. I mean, I'm sitting here championing the cause for a Duke quarterback. Michigan quarterback, though, hey, think Tommy Terrific,
hey.
Jim Harbaugh. Okay, but anyway, Rattler, yeah.
L.
Plus, he can't win because I already said he's my friend. It'd be a fixed race. But hey, stats, thank you very much. Sorry about the L on Grady Dick, whatever that means. If you're using Grady Dick in daily fantasy, then it's not Grady Dick who is the L. It's the utilizer who is the L.
L.
So anyway, that's about the only way to put that. So thank you, Statsy. What's next?
What's up, PA and Maxo? This is Braden from Tempe. I was just wondering, PA, is there a position the Vikings might be targeting that would surprise fans? Like a tight end or something? Thanks.
I was looking for something. Did he say where?
No, he said, would there be a position that the Vikings are targeting that would surprise fans?
Oh. Who? Answer that question quickly.
I doubt it. I think sometimes people want to think too hard and mega brain it, as I would say. You just got to go with the obvious answer. It's either defense or it's quarterback. I don't think they're going to try to pull any chicanery or anything like that. It's defense or it's quarterback, and I think they all fully understand that. Not only is that what the fans are craving, which they don't have to appease the fans or anything like that, but that's what this franchise needs at this point in time.
The 9 to noon button bar is less organized than Bob Hagan's office at Winter Park.
What in the ham fat is going on with you guys?
God, what a freaking lazy disaster this thing is. I can't find what I'm looking for. All right, doesn't matter. Go ahead and give us another one.
PA Nordo, it's JB. What if Sam Darnold comes in and has a Geno Smith type season? We watched Geno be the quarterback the Jets were done with. Pete Carroll got his hands on him, made him a Pro Bowl quarterback. Is that something you even think Sam Darnold's capable of?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
What?
Yeah!
How you doing?
I read you.
It's on now.
Well, that's the leader. That last one, for me, you get to make the pick.
Yeah.
because if you pick somebody, and it's not everybody else, then we always enjoy moments like that where you're the bane of somebody's existence and the bane of their frustration.
Sorry, KFAN.
And it's not me. Here's why. Because that might happen. And it wouldn't be what if they don't take a quarterback. It would be what if they can't get to the one they prefer. So now it's, like last week, the consciousness streams in so many different ways involving this that I think 6 takes ago, I was like, well, I mean, if you kind of know what you're going to do and you feel pretty good that you're going to get it, then like, why did you need to give Darnold 1 and 10, 1 year and $10 million? And maybe it's like, well, we've seen enough of what we have. And they wanted to roll the dice on that. Or maybe they feel, as Talkbacker just shared, that, and the guy's right. Now, whether it works or not, well, that's a different story. But if for those who are looking at Darnold's preseason games with the Niners or looking at his games with the Jets and the running back off whom he was going play action and or the receivers to whom he was throwing. I mean, if you think that I'm going to sit here and like try to mix and match or compare and contrast Justin Jefferson and Chris Herndon,
I always love that one.
That ain't going to happen. So Sam is in a wonderful, wonderful position. Sam Darnold is in the greatest position to succeed that he ever has been in his life and professionally, and that includes USC. And I don't need to know, like who his receivers were at USC and his offensive lineman was that one for something Vera whatever who went to the Jets and he was a guard or whatever and he was scrappy, and I don't care how good his Jets team was when he played. His USC team. I don't care how good his USC team was. Because when he played at USC, they didn't have NIL.
I always love that one.
Did it even count? I mean, it's like, great, cool. How'd you enjoy the ramen between bread like Maxwell shared with YA and something called May or Mayza?
I always love that one.
But that's okay. That's the whole part of the process. Darnold can move. Darnold is accurate. Darnold has a strong arm. And now, but this situation here with the most offensively gifted and or straightforward mind calling plays with whom he's ever worked, yeah, that gives him a legitimate chance. That gives Darnold the best chance he's ever had to succeed at this level. So the talkback winner is right. But the question is despite all those circumstances, will it still work? Maybe he just doesn't have the mettle. Maybe he just, maybe he freaks out in the pocket. I have no idea. I haven't watched Sam Darnold play in quite some time. In fact, all the way back to when his Charlotte Hornets, his Charlotte Bobcats, his Carolina Panthers nearly ran down the Minnesota Vikings and won a game they had no business winning. He made some 4th down hit to this like tight end, Ian Thomas never catches passes, and now Robbie Anderson's catching 2s in sideline plays, and you got corners who are not pushing him out of bounds, pissing off people. So that was the last time we saw Sam Darnold. Yes, better situation here, and that is our talkback winner. My man, an absolute treat whenever I get the opportunity to work with you. Thank you very much for the good times. And let's stay on the president for those Champions Club tickets because he made them available on radio, Dave St. Peter. And
can't take it back now.
We recorded it. Can't take it back now. And then the reaction video idea that you have, videos. Stay on that.
Yeah.
And stay with me on it.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll make it happen, okay?
Let's do it.
Maxx Fuller, I'm Paul Allen. Thank you very much for listening to the 9 to noon radio show at FM 100.3 KFAN. The program is next.
Lucky we got 'em. Good time.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show or listen
by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.